My name is Anna Parker. I'm 32, and I always thought I knew everything about my life. My husband, David Parker, 34, works in IT. He seems quiet and thoughtful, the kind of person you can't underestimate, especially when it comes to keeping secrets. We've been together for almost 10 years, 7 of them married. We live in a cozy third-floor apartment in an old building with a small yard where lilacs and jasmine bloom. In the summer, we drink coffee on the balcony and listen to the birds. It seems like the perfect life. Our dog, Molly, the rare arguments, quiet dinners together, and the habit of smiling at each other without saying a word. And yet, as I learned, a perfect life can be a fragile illusion, easily shattered. The beginning of suspicion. I first felt something was wrong early in the spring. David started staying late at work. At first, I told myself it was just projects, tight deadlines, and corporate tasks. But over time, the late nights became increasingly frequent and strange. Sometimes he would leave at 9 a.m. and not come back until after 11 p.m. without taking his laptop and without saying he'd be working overtime. One night, while the city was asleep and I was curled up on the couch with a blanket reading a book, I heard keys in the door. David opened the door quietly, as if trying not to wake me, and went straight to the bathroom. From the sounds, I realized he wasn't alone. My heart started racing. It must be a neighbor. I tried to convince myself, but the doubt didn't go away. The next day, I noticed he was paying unusual attention to his appearance, a new cologne, a fresh haircut, perfectly pressed shirts. In the evenings, he spent a lot of time in the bathroom, as if preparing for a meeting. David had never been like this before. I tried to talk to him, but he brushed it off. This is just stress, Anna. Nothing serious. The small details you don't notice at first. I started noticing little things. Tickets for trips in his bag that he never mentioned. Messages on his phone that disappeared when I came near. He would get up in the middle of the night, whisper on the phone, and then return to bed as if nothing had happened. Each incident added a mix of anxiety and distrust in my mind. I felt like a spy in my own home, and the feeling gnawed at me. The first step toward the truth. One evening, David stayed late again. I was sitting at home, Molly curled at my feet, staring at my phone, heart pounding. I knew I had to do something. I opened his laptop. The act itself was terrifying. I knew I was breaking trust, but a voice inside urged me on. And then I saw them, messages from a woman named Allison. The messages were full of affection, plans to meet, and discussions about a secret they had been keeping from me for 6 months. I froze, reading them over and over. I couldn't believe my eyes. David had been living a double life. Shock and first reaction. When David came home, I waited in the living room. My hands were shaking. My voice caught in my throat. David, we need to talk, I said quietly. He smiled at me at first, but the smile faded when he saw my face. I showed him the messages. His eyes widened, then filled with fear, then shame. Anna, it means nothing. Really, he stammered. Nothing? I yelled. You hid this for 6 months. 6 months. He tried to explain. It was an emotional affair. I got confused. But I didn't care. My heart ached from betrayal, from realizing the person I shared everything with could lie to me so completely. Emotions and inner turmoil. I spent the night sleepless, replaying every moment in my mind. Grocery trips, parties with friends, quiet dinners, everything felt like a lie. I cried, screamed, then cried again. Molly stayed close, sensing I was on the verge of breaking. The next day, I tried talking to David. He cried, begged for forgiveness, spoke of feelings and mistakes, but I saw emptiness in his eyes that couldn't be filled. Decision and consequences. A week later, I made my decision. I can't keep living like this. We divorced. It was a slow process, dividing property, deciding on Molly, legal matters. Each day reminded me of the betrayal, but gradually the pain softened. 2 years later, I moved into a new apartment, started a new work project, and kept a journal to record my thoughts. I still occasionally see David on the street and feel the ache I first felt that night, but I've learned to live again, no longer a prisoner of his lies. This story is a reminder of how everyday life can hide secrets, and how important it is to trust yourself and your instincts.